Hey, I'm Marc. In this video, I'm going to talk about the second music video I shot for Tegan and Sara, and that was called I Can't Grow Up. 'Cause I can't grow. Give me all your love. Now, I directed I Can't Grow Up just one day after we shot Yellow. This one was a fun one to shoot because it was just about Tegan and Sara having fun in front of the camera. 'Cause I can't grow. So the song I Can't Grow Up is just like one syllable words. The song has a similar kind of pattern to it. Where the music is made up of kind of looping, almost like a beat pad, is kind of how I heard it. So rather than do like a formal pitch deck, which a lot of directors do, in a PDF format and with pretty images and all that stuff, I kind of started to work in Milanote. So this is what I basically sent them. They sent me this music video, Modernette's Barbara, as a reference to what they liked. I kind of tried to let that reference just sink in. But for me, where the idea started, as I mentioned, was on a beat machine. So I'll just kind of reference what I said. As you know, the song opens with a very cool beat pad effect, but instead of beat sounds, the vocals are being chopped up and looped. It made me immediately think of matching this effect visually. Originally, it wasn't going to be in just one room. In the end, I really simplified like crazy and went with a similar style that my main reference was. I thought I saw a man brought to life. Natalie Imbruglia's Torn. Which essentially is just a locked off shot, and Natalie Imbruglia is just in various distances away from the camera. One reference as well was Hardest Button to Button. Each beat has a cut. So it's really cool, really visual. So what I did is I took the Natalie Imbruglia's Torn video and made kind of a text edit and visual reference. So I can check that out right now. This is it here. I can't grow up. I can't grow up. So you can see each time a new sound is introduced, it's a different visual of where that person is in space. And then when that sound is repeated, that person goes back to the place where they originally were when that sound was made. I won't go through my exact text edit now, but I have the song play out and text on screen so you can follow along to read what I'm seeing in my mind exactly as you're listening to the song. And I sometimes color code it with like choruses and verses, and then there's an instrumental breakdown. I might say I'm still trying to figure out what to do in this part. Maybe I can touch on this right now, but there's a section where they sing Boomerang. Boomerang, taking my head off a hitman. Taking my last breath, sinking fangs. So Boomerang is something that goes out and comes back to where it started. So I was like, ooh, this would be a really cool opportunity by having two singers to have one be singing forwards while one is singing in reverse, and then reverse that so that the other one's now singing forwards while the other one's singing in reverse, and then make it so they're both simultaneously singing together. So that was the challenge, and I made a little test edit example of that, and I'll see it right here. Boomerang, taking my head off a hitman, taking my last breath, sinking fangs into my throat, you're a hangman, killing my hope, oh, a boomerang. So that was kind of much more difficult than it seems. You'd think it'd be really simple to kind of figure out what to do. So showing the band, showing Tegan and Sara this visually helps them buy in and agree to do something that's a bit more complicated. The other part is a location option. The one that we landed on is called the Ironworks. So we went with the Ironworks production studio space, and because they have such a great stylist, it was decided early on that the clothing and the outfit changes would do a lot of the heavy lifting. So to help myself be organized and kind of wrap my head around the concept and what was required, I made just a simple text document. So I just color coded the lyrics and essentially the different shots that I would need. So for this video, the crew was a little bit larger than it was for the yellow shoot. For this, we had Corey plus 2.
Yeah.
So on a technical side, I've shot a lot of these music videos on my FX3, which I'm shooting this YouTube video on right now. And it's been an amazing camera for me as like a kind of run and gun director and DP. It has amazing autofocus, image quality is great, it's small, it's compact, I fit in my backpack. And it was definitely a, not a difficult edit, but it's all about the edit.
Get me under your spell, why does it turn you up? Put me back under the shelf.
And how well it's cutting to the beat, if it's cutting too much to the beat, too little, is there enough visual difference that it's still kind of tantalizing the eyeball.
Get me up and back to the start, 'cause I can't grow.
So this part where Sarah's on the stairs, I kind of treated it as if it was like a guitar neck. As you can see, the lead up to the boomerang part, I had them stand various positions as they came towards camera.
And a little to your right, Tegan. Thank you, and forward.
Here's the boomerang part.
Boomerang.
So on the left is Sarah, she's singing forwards while Tegan is in reverse. And I had her drop her jacket so that when it flips back around, it could come back onto her body.
A boomerang.
So the boomerang part is where we loop. We're back at the beginning, we're back at the start.
Into my throat, you're a hangman. How do I know when it's time to let go?
That was hard to do the math and figure that one out, but I'm pleased with that final execution of that. And I hope that other nerdy filmmaker people like myself would have been had I watched this growing up. The other thing maybe to note in this video, because it's a locked off shot, there are times where I cut out parts of the frame and put Sarah in somewhere where maybe she wasn't, to put them in the same shot together, like this right here. They're not actually in the same frame together, those were shot separately. But I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool and dynamic. So then I just rotoed Sarah to have Tegan fall behind her. So yeah, I did little tricky things like that. Because I shot in 4K. I decided to finish in HD in 1920 by 1080. And the reason why I did that is because I decided to do post pushes, like post zooms, just to give the shot a bit more of a dynamic feel. And yeah, that's I Can't Grow Up, and I hope you liked it.